10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, that was the wrong scene because I'm a professional. There's the right scene. Look how good that looks. What's up, sons? It's Blind Red with Summit Tech once again. And joining me today is Nemesis. He has a YouTube channel called Crypto and Hot Rods you can go check out. He also does a podcast every Saturday. What time and what channel for that?
That is DCA Adventure. You can find that on YouTube or any of your favorite podcasts. And we start that at 8 o'clock. Cool Standard Time, Central Standard Time.
There you go. Easy for me to make if that wasn't my normal bedtime. So why am I up so late today? Well, a ton of shit happened, right? So, well, there goes monetization. So shoot over those donos, right, boys, because I'm already screwing that up. But that being said, we have lots of news. I think my favorite one is going to be AMD seems to be preparing a new blockchain GPU for crypto mining. We have PayPal adoption of cryptocurrency with a couple big caveats really there that we'll get into. And then we have RX 5700s going out of stock, even though they said that they were going to keep making them. So we have to discuss if that's a supply issue, demand issue, or if they are actually even manufacturing them anymore. I have a couple speculations on that we'll go over, and then we're going to open it up to chat. We're going to talk to you guys about what's going on there, and really what's happened is a huge pump in crypto tonight. So let's get into it. First of all, let's talk about AMD seems to be preparing for a new blockchain GPU for crypto mining. A Linux news outlet, Phoronix, has spotted a couple of Linux patches that allude to an unreleased AMD blockchain graphics card for cryptocurrency mining. The description refers to a Navi 10 or Navi 10, depending on what your, how good your English is or how bad, blockchain SKU, implying that the Navi 10 silicone is at the heart of this new graphics card. The blockchain graphics card in question presently lacks one of AMD's fishy code names and carries a device ID that corresponds to OX731E. As Phoronix noted, the major difference between this mysterious blockchain graphics and your normal Navi 10 offering is that the Display Core Next DCN and Video Core Next VCN engines are disabled. The lack of support indicates that the graphics card will likely arrive without any display ports. The Navi 10 silicone is based on AMD's RDNA 1.0 architecture, and it's a product of TSMC's 7nm FinFET manufacturing process. Checking in with a die size of 251 millimeters, and Navi 10 houses up to 10,300 million transistors. Overall, the Navi 10 die houses 40 compute units, totaling 2,560 stream processors. At present, AMD uses the Navi 10 silicone for 4 of its Radeon gaming graphics cards, including their corresponding Pro and mobile variants. The Navi 10 XT and Navi 10 XL power the Radeon RX 5700 XT and the RX 5700, respectively. Meanwhile, the Navi 10 XLE gives life to the 5600 XT, which I've noticed people are starting to pick up too for mining. And while Navi 10 XE resides in the Radeon RX 5600, it's uncertain if AMD's Navi 10 blockchain graphics cards will take after one of its mainstream models or appear as a completely different animal. According to Phoronix, the timings of the patches probably means that this is Navi 10 blockchain graphics card won't debut until next year. AMD's idea seems sound because it would discourage crypto miners from buying. Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
You're funny. Clearly, Tom's Hardware doesn't remember 2017. Clearly, nope, not at all.
Where we were grabbing his whatever was on the shelf and wasn't bolted down in the display units.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Not that it matters, given that Navi powered parts are still widely available. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sure. Keep thinking that.
Yeah, just like NVIDIA.
Yeah. Alternatively, AMD could just be getting rid of leftover Navi silicone, as the chip maker will be announcing the new RX 6000 series. That's going to be on the 28th, I believe. And that will leverage Navi 2 dies. So yeah, we're getting on to 2.0, right? So
yeah.
There you go. Navi might be more energy efficient than Vega or Polaris, but we're unsure if the crypto mining performance is there. What? Yeah, these guys don't know jack shit. All right. First of all, I'm sorry. The mining performance is there. You're talking about with Samsung memory on the Navi based cards. Let's just take the 5700, for example, or the 5700 XT. They're pretty much identical. If you just do a little bit of elbow grease, you know what I mean? But you're talking about with Samsung memory, 56 to 57 mega hash a second, hovering somewhere between 90 and 110 watts, depending on, how good you got the roll. And then on the Micron memory models, you're talking about anywhere from 110 to 130 watts, once again, depending on how good you got the roll. You can, of course, in my practice with the two different memory modules on the current Navi cards, you can get a little bit more hash rate out of the Microns, but you are sacrificing some power. So
just a little bit,
quite a bit in my experience. But that is kind of what we're talking about. And so welcome everybody into the stream. Before we talk about this a little bit more, Bimby, thanks for being here. Mohammed, good to see you back. Crafty2, what's going on, my man? Good to see you here.
And hey, I know Crafty2.
Welcome. If the MSRP is 50% of similar cards with DisplayPort, you might consider it. Yeah, that's not going to happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. So my assumption here is when they said they were going to keep manufacturing RX 5700s, these are what they're talking about. I think pretty much every RX 5700 that had issues with either the VCE, or sorry, I'm messing that up, VCN or DCN, if they were having issues with either one of those, I think they're repurposing them.
Probably. I mean, considering that they're claiming a zero waste foundry now.
Yeah, so I mean, they're like, oh crap, DCN's not working or VCN's working or something's a little messed up. Go throw it to the cryptocurrency miners, they'll take it. And that may be true, that may not be true. It depends on the performance, right? So the good news is, from what I'm reading, is that it will have the full 40 compute units of the 5700 XT and the full 2560 stream processors, if this leak is true. Meaning that
I just had somebody in my chat, Alex Perea. He's like, through BIOS or a hard shunt. They're going to be turning this all through BIOS. The shunts are for power mods. So that's a whole different ball game. It's like you don't mess with power shunts unless you're doing extreme overclocking, like Gamers Nexus or something like that.
Right, or trying to beat benchmarks. I mean, that would be a fun thing to do, though, to have an overclocking cryptocurrency mining hash rate competition. That would be fun.
Okay, now, actually, you just touched upon something that I've been trying to set up in the background. So,
okay.
I call it hash drags.
Hash drags. There you go. Well, so we may have to talk about that. Go ahead.
Right. I'm trying to get myself an LN2 pot that you don't have to use liquid nitrogen on because that gets expensive. But you can use dry ice and rubbing alcohol.
Okay. But
so that's something
I don't think you can limit that, though. That's the thing. Like, LN2 can't be off the table if we're going to...
No. It's not going to be off the table. It's just that I want to make sure we have different entry levels for different people in the community that want to join.
No, I was talking about going head-to-head like Jay's 2 Cents and Gamers.
Oh, yes.
Doing.
I want to do it. Yes,
All right.
and I'm going to be getting an LN2 pot. I'm going to
Okay.
get a little
Okay.
tanks and everything. Oh yeah.
I just wanted to make sure we can go as far as we want with this, because
Yes.
if you're gonna
Yes,
limit me, man, then I'm out, man. If you're gonna be like
right.
you can only have 100 octane, 104 octanes off the table, then I'm out. Like I'm like
No. We're
uh-uh.
gonna allow balls to the wall for anybody who wants to do it.
There you go. So I think that, like I said, I really honestly think this is probably 5700s laying around, maybe some 5700 XTs, whatever those are.
hmm
And they're going to try to get rid of them before the 6000 series by pawning them off to cryptocurrency miners. Here's the problem. Because of the current pump and the profitability of Ethereum, I don't think we're going to see anything in stock, personally.
No.
I don't think we're going to see 5700s in stock all the way down to probably the 5500 XT, because when I benchmarked that, I was getting 27 mega hash a second at like 40 watts. So like you can
Holy
even
cow.
really knock all the way down to the 5500 XT and still be pretty profitable. I mean,
Right.
so it's possible it goes all the way down to that, depending on what ends up happening here. The savior of that will be people scared of ETH 2.0 and proof of stake.
hmm
And that's kind of what you got to bet on. You're making big bets right now on how fast will they come out with proof of stake. Of course,
Not only that, you're also betting on the DeFi market to just keep on going wild.
and the fees, yeah,
Yeah.
and the fees. So if Ethereum either fixes the fees, right, which is something I assume they're working on right now, or
They weren't able to do it with crypto kitties. What makes you think they're going to do it with this?
yeah, right. So it is. Hey, that was a great time. That was some good old times. So the difference between the market now, though, and like let's say back in 2017, right before it blew up the first time, is we're looking at a regulated market with DeFi, and previously it was an unregulated market with securities fraud through ICOs. So there is a potential here of it not being as much of a bubble, which is good news. But then
Yes.
you have to start placing bets, of course, like I stated before, on how long you're going to be able to mine Ethereum. Ethereum Classic is going to be an option. Of course, I think ETC is still hitting near identical hash rates or identical profit margins as Ethereum. Last I checked.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
they're identical, but their blockchain, they've never fixed the attack that was going on with Ethereum Classic, and that
mhm.
since the beginning of the year, they've been hit 4 times since the beginning of the year?
I don't know. You would know
No,
better than me on that.
no, it was last year. Last year and then this year. They've been 51% attacked 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
And no solution on it whatsoever. They're like code's law. We're perfect over here at ETC land. Code is law.
Right. And then there's Raven, which is about half the profitability, but will still be sticking around. So there's a few
Yeah.
options. I don't think profitability on mining goes away all the way. I think the high profitability goes away. And
It'll come in power cycles, I think.
yeah, just I mean, pretty typical, right? For that
hmm
to happen, it's just going to be how you play your cards, how quickly you can get in, and then what the market's going to do with supply and demand on mining hardware in general, right? So your options right now is there are ASICs for Ethereum, but they're overpriced, and really 5700s and 5700 XTs are not that far off of power to hash rate ratio there. So
It almost depends on whenever you were getting into the ASICs on Ethereum, because if you were like myself, I was an early adopter for the E3 ant miners from Bitmain.
uh-huh.
At that time, if you wanted to build an RX 5800 rig, you would have spent somewhere around $2,200 to $2,300,
Mm-hmm.
and for the E3 ant miner, $2,000.
Right. And that
$2,000
was what?
plug and play.
and that was 500 mega hash a second. It like
No, that was
was
200 mega hash
okay.
at 715 watts.
And
So at that time, that was before the RX line fixed their power management to be able to just slam the power down and still keep the hash rate on it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I think that because of that, though, like, can you even get ETH ASICs right now? Like, I think there's a
No,
batch coming.
you can get the A10s, which are the 500 megawatt mega hash ones that you're thinking of.
Right.
But for the E3s, no, they're done. You can only get those through other miners, and they're nearing end of life.
What's the memory capacity on those?
So each module on there has 4 GB.
Okay.
But what's funny about that though is that it's running a 32-bit Linux kernel on there.
Mm-hmm.
If they can upgrade it to a 64 GB Linux distribution, it'll actually unlock the memory modules the rest of the way, and you'll actually be playing with 8 gigs.
So you'll have more time on the chain then at that point.
Yeah, it's like I'm wondering how Bitmain's going to play this out, because if they open it up to 8 gigs, you get more hash rate out of the deal too, because it's basically an SoC chip with a bunch of memory modules on it.
Right. So my question to you is then, for as far as these go, are you interested in buying these, and if so, at what price point?
See, it all depends. I mean, if they're if they're no better than a 5700, a 570, you're talking bottom dollar. I really wouldn't want to pay more than 100, maybe $150 a pop on them.
You're not going to have any resale value on them, right?
No, none.
So your ROI has to hit before whatever your projection of ETH either taking a dump or becoming less profitable, or hitting. Well, the DAG we don't have to worry about for a while on these. Presumably they'll be 8 gig. If they're 4 gig, they're dead in the water. I don't think.
Oh my god! You know what? I hope that they don't release these new mining cards like they did the P104s and stuff like that, where you had to BIOS mod them in order to unlock all the memory. It's like, just unlock it. Give it to me unlocked. Why are you playing games?
Well, because those memory modules presumably weren't running to spec, right? So they were out of spec, as far as I understand it. So
for what I understood, that they doubled the memory capacity on them, and then they just sold them off, because like there was 8 GB memory variants, and they were basically 1070s, and they were being shipped out with only four active.
But AMD did that with the 580. The 580s, the 570s, the 480s, and the 470s. This has actually been something AMD's done a lot, where they've just deactivated the half of the memory modules just so they could have a cheaper line. And they've been doing that for, golly, I mean, I think that goes back even further than the 400 series.
Probably.
It's been
AMD has been known, if it binned out bad, this is 6 core. We'll make it 4.
Well, and that's why the modding scene for AMD's just been insane from the very get-go. Luckily, those tools were available and allowed to still be used up until Adrenaline. Now it's a lot more difficult, and that's very frustrating. They even added HTTP blocking, so if you're a gamer or you're just wanting to use it for everyday productivity and you plug in a capture card, it'll block it. Then you got to go through all the little settings, and now they removed the setting. It's supposed to auto detect, but even the other day I had it where, for whatever reason, I plugged in a capture card with an AMD GPU, and it was like HTTP is turned on. So I Googled how to turn it off, and it was like, can't do it. It just automatically does it. And I was like, so what do I do? Do I just reboot the PC until it goes, oh, that's a webcam, that's not Netflix. He's not stealing anything. How long? So their detection issues on that is terrible. And just because I already know the history of AMD and their driver updates, I'm kind of extra bent over that because that means that's going to be a problem for at least like 6 months where it's just going to have
Oh yeah.
issues. But at least like still on Linux, you can still do it. They do still have their blockchain drivers. So
Oh yeah, the LMC drivers or whatever it is, or ROMC or whatever it is.
yeah, they're probably going to work on it some more, I assume. That could be really good news for the current 5700s out in circulation, though. The current Navi
Mm,
one, we could actually get a better
yeah.
blockchain driver out of it that does hash more. So I think that's what I'm most excited about this leak is going to be the potential of a new blockchain driver for Navi. So that's where
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
looking at this point.
That would be really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Because if you remember that did up the hash rate pretty good on Polaris.
Yeah, because me and Crypto Mikkel, we got our hands on the Grin mining cards with the 16 gigabytes of VRAM on it,
Uh huh.
and using the ROCM drivers did make a little bit of a difference on there. Like I was able to pull, somewhere right around, it was like 85 watts, and I was pulling like 35, 36 mega hash on it.
It's pretty good,
It's like,
especially
yeah.
with it. So moving on to the big news, PayPal. Boom.
Ooh.
I don't even know where to start with this one. So PayPal is launching its own cryptocurrency service. It's actually not launching; it's launched. I logged in. It's there. You can buy, I believe it was Bitcoin Cash trash can, and then you could
Hmm.
buy some Bitcoin, you could buy some Ethereum, and you could buy some Litecoin. Those
Yep.
are the current currencies allowed to purchase through
And
there.
for all of you XRP people out there, no, they did not put that on there. Not no adoption for you.
but but can I get Tether?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they
No,
have
I
any
know.
stable tokens on
No,
there either.
there's no stability there. Right next to it, like on the page, if you log in, it's like learn about risk, and you're like, okay, cool. So, all right. The online payments company declared adding crypto was a significant milestone on the path to mainstream adoption of cryptocurrencies. They're not wrong there. Bitcoin investors agreed. Prices rose 5% on the news Wednesday. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it went up more than that.
Right. Now, do you think that PayPal is trying to just like step on the wings of Squarespace? Since Square jumped in before them, and they're
I,
like, "Oh, FOMO, get in on this."
I think it is a FOMO. Well, they got in a lot faster than they initially said they were going to be. If you recall,
Yeah.
this was going to happen in 2021. This was
Right.
not a Q4 2020 thing. So, like, I
Mm-mm.
woke up today and I was like, "What is going on?" If you want to go look at your miners, they look really good today. I'm just saying, they just look.
Oh my God, yeah.
They look really good today. Trying to see overall jump for the day, but yeah, Bitcoin's sitting at 12,781 per unit right now. I don't know what percentage that is up though. I need to go to somewhere that actually lists that a little bit better. I guess the price index would be good.
Yeah.
So I guess they're right. 24.
Alex is like, I think PayPal is beating the big boy banks. Can I say more?
Yeah,
But at the same time, the banks are already into it. I mean, think about it. They're already setting up custodialship for Bitcoin.
but they block it to the general consumer. Still,
Yeah.
most of them still do. All the big
Mhm.
ones.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. JP Morgan and all of them. Yeah.
But they're leveraging it on the backside personally. So it's
because
just
they know cash is trash.
yeah, it's bank stuff, man. It's crazy. Yeah, so at this time you can buy it and it's some sort of coupon thing. Don't go buy crypto in PayPal right now.
No.
We're talking about it because that's what is the big bump. I guess the 24-hour change was up 4.63% on Bitcoin is what I'm getting on CoinDesk. And
Oh, at
then
Bitcoin, Jake is like, vroom, vroom, vrooms. So in the house. What's up?
I'm here, dude. What's going on, my dude? So, and then yeah, and then Ethereum was up 4%. Fucking Ripple's up 3%.
Well,
And
we're gonna watch all the whole
it's gonna be
shitcoin
fine.
market go up a little bit. I mean, it's okay. They can all pump on the coattail. And remember, it's always the coattail of Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out because I'm not sure. Like obviously, like direct relation of PayPal accepting should be the currencies that they added, but just because of the relation of it in trading is why that happens, right? So
hmm
that's always gonna happen. So be careful. Make sure you don't buy any shit coins that are, you know, don't have people that are actually working on it.
Yeah, do your own research,
Yeah,
guys. Please
go,
be careful.
go hop in their discords, go hop in their telegrams, do all that. If you want to play lucky and try to get that, then that's, go talk to them.
That's the whole DeFi market. I mean, sushi, hot dog, what all?
Yeah.
That was a big old game of hot potato. Please don't rug pull me, please.
Well, I'm going to be doing some videos on DeFi shortly, but my strategy's been using that as a lower risk investment. And so pairing with stable coins is what I would probably recommend if I was a financial advisor, of which I am not, to clarify. So, but anything like DAI, Tether, I prefer DAI or DAI or whatever to US, what is it, USDT,
hmm
because I'd rather have the way it's backed up is just seems better to me. Also, you, Tether, you got to be worried about the US dollar right now too.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
in
That's
general.
why I use Doge as my stable coin.
That perfect. You're winning. Winning. You
Oh
got it.
yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, if you're talking about like fractions of a penny movement, that's stable.
So, yeah, I haven't actually been able to purchase it. I don't think that I will. I wouldn't recommend purchasing through PayPal. I don't
No,
understand how they're currently working it. You don't
you're
control
you're
your
not going to
keys,
be.
right?
Yeah, you won't be able to put it into your own wallet. So it's not like you buy Bitcoin there and then you can put it into your
Yeah,
wallet. It has to stay in their ecosystem, and then you're going to be able to use it instead of using your PayPal account. You can use your PayPal Bitcoin account
right.
instead.
And
So I
then,
mean, they're making the use case of it's money, but they're not giving you control of it.
yeah, that's just not going to work for anybody. I don't.
Yeah, I look at that as what's that? Robinhood. Robinhood
Yeah,
does the same thing. You can buy Bitcoin, but you're only getting the exposure to it. You're actually not owning it.
right. Well, yeah, and you only own it through them. You don't control it. You don't have the private keys. There's no reason that if you're versed in cryptocurrency to go purchase it through PayPal, as opposed to something like Cash App, where Cash App you can send and receive Bitcoin, and you can buy it there and then send it out to your own wallet. That makes sense.
Yes.
So my
Mm-hmm.
recommendation would be Cash App. I actually don't have an affiliate or anything for that. That's just genuinely how I feel is use Cash App if you want an easy, quick way to buy some Bitcoin and send it to an exchange to play with it. That's where I
Right.
would go from there. Or my favorite, just mine it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I
mine
don't
it.
buy anything. I don't buy anything that I mine.
Yeah.
and I mine Bitcoin. So.
There you go. There you go. All
And
right.
I'm an at-home miner, so it's possible you can do it.
They say that PayPal isn't the only major company. Square spent
No.
50 million, as you're referring
Yep.
to earlier, to buy more than 4,700 bitcoins earlier this month. So here's what we're probably going to see a correction, right? This week at some point, probably go up a little bit more as the news hits anything bigger than CNN hit it, right, but I don't think Forbes has an article. I don't think a lot of the general trading market websites like E-Trade or anything like that have any news on it yet. At least when I
No.
checked before the stream. So
No.
as that news releases tomorrow, you'll have a little bit of pump in value for the the versed cryptocurrency guys, like you guys in chat and so on and so forth. But the problem is going to be that, as people are mentioning, you can't even buy it quite yet. Some people have been able to, but you got to go through an approval process. So what we're going to see is it's going to be a little weird. We're going to have the initial pump, which is the people that are already into cryptocurrency buying, hedging that PayPal is going to increase, and people are going to start buying through PayPal. And then I think right after that, what you'll have is a more large scale adoption of like the layman that's not versed in cryptocurrency, that's buying Bitcoin through PayPal because they hear about cryptocurrency, they want to find the easiest way, and they're like, oh, I already have a PayPal. So there will be an initial bump from the general public as well. So you're going to have those two, and then I think you'll see a correction after that. Personally, that's what I think will happen.
Yeah, I'm thinking that we're probably see like anything between like a 13,000 to 13,500, and then we should probably see like a 30% pullback. It could even be harder depending on how bad everybody else was shorting the market on this.
Yeah. I think tomorrow you could see. I think tomorrow you'll see 13. I think it's going to test that limit. And then I think once people are approved and able to purchase, like the general public in PayPal, I think you could see it go above 14 for a little bit. And then as soon as that corrects and the people that have been, trading it, short that or whatever, and people lose money on PayPal, they're going to
my
stop.
God.
That's what's going to happen.
Going to go pop. They're going to get a big old slap on the hand.
Yeah, because the general public's going to buy Bitcoin at 13 grand. They're going to, I'm telling you, this is what's going to happen. The value's going to go up to 14 grand. They're going to get excited and buy more, right? And then all the longer term investors or the people that have been trading it are going to dump it on them because they'll be at 14 grand. And then they're going to lose money and they're going to get scared and dump it. That's what's going to happen. So, and that's kind of the same with like new players in the stock market too. Like whenever that happens, right?
Oh yeah, that beautiful emotional roller coaster. It's like all those memes that they have. You show the newbie, he's on the front thing going, ah! And then you got the experienced guy. He's just sitting back there, kicking back, almost going to sleep.
He's like, I already bought this shit at $2 grand.
Right. I've been on this roller coaster. It's like my 20th time. I'm gonna go to sleep. So wake me up when the ride stops.
Pretty much. So the last topic, because I'm a mining channel and you are too, is going to be the 5700, the RX 5700, which is my favorite card. And my favorite card in particular has been the MSI Gaming Radeon RX 5700 because nobody wanted them. And now, all of a sudden, everybody wants them. You can't get them in stock until October 24th. B&H is out of stock now. They started limiting first. Today, they started limiting. Then they went out of stock. Newegg, I think, is out of stock. Let me go check. Or Newegg upped the price on them.
It's probably people sitting on the sidelines going, I need to buy new cards. And they're like, man, I can't get any of the NVIDIA. This is what's left. I'm going to grab it.
But they're buying it. I mean, I don't think the gamers are buying it because if you go Google this MSI Radeon RX 5700, the first thing you're going to come up with is Gamers Nexus shitting all over it for being trash. And here's the thing. It's not actually trash if you just do a little bit of work, which I did a video on this YouTube channel for, and you can check it out. All you got to do is replace some thermal pads. You can get the thermal pads on Amazon for about $10. It'll do 6 cards. So when these things were selling, obviously you see here on Newegg, they went up to $395 and now they're out of stock. When these things were selling for $330, this was by far the best deal you could get just anywhere, period. B&H, you can get tax exemption too. So you can use like your YouTube channel or like just go ahead and create a business real quick and go get tax exemption for them. B&H does that. Newegg does that. I believe quite a few places do. So if you have sales tax in your state, make sure you do that right and set that all up. Go get with a financial advisor to figure that stuff out. But now we're seeing, these have gone out of stock now. And I think it's a matter of time before we start seeing the $400 range start going out of stock. As you can see here, The XTs are going out of stock. Isn't this hilarious too? The MSI Radeon RX 5700 before it went out of stock was $1 more than the RX 5700 XT.
Because it had more value. That's why.
Yeah.
A little BIOS mod on there, and the XT became obsolete.
It's pretty funny though, and you can see the reviews on the 5700 are way better than on the 5700 XT too for those two cards. So that's pretty.
Yeah, I
hilarious.
tested out the Lisa Sue edition from one of my community members, Nefarious Technology. He let me borrow it, and I had it here, and I'm playing around with it. And
the anniversary edition.
Yeah,
I got
that thing.
It's underwater though.
So I didn't put it underwater. It's like I didn't have it set up like that. But using the stock configuration with the blower on there, I noticed something while I was playing around with it, and that the because of the way that they use the housing of the blower to support the PCB's weight, which is a cool idea. I like that. Problem is that the upper side was probably a thousandth of an inch too thick, maybe just a pinch more. And so you got better contact patch on the lower side of the GPU die than you did the upper side.
Right.
So whenever I put my thermal paste in there, I actually got worse temperatures on it than I did putting the thermal pad down on it.
On the core?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The core actually did better with a thermal pad on there.
That's I think that's a problem on the MSI as well. So, which I don't get better temperatures with the thermal pad. I've been pretty lucky with.
But you water blocked yours, so you bypassed the entire issue.
Well, no, that's different. I'm talking about on the MSIs. But yeah, my gaming rig is the anniversary edition underwater.
Yeah, so I mean, you bypassed all the issue with that, which
and I'm not even mining on it right now. I don't want to mine on it. If I mine on it, basically the water evaporates, and it's a mini ITX system, so I don't have a big reservoir in there anyways. So.
I have my FPGA with water, and I can't believe in 4 months and I'm putting in I lose like an inch out of my reservoir. I'm like, where'd you go?
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm in Texas, so you can imagine how.
Oh yeah, it's like half gone.
Yeah,
this only been 2 days.
South Texas too, so. Bye water real quick. All right, let's hop on to chat. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
I'm gonna pull this up. What's going on, chat? How you guys doing today?
Yeah, I've got your chat and my chat pulled up.
I guess I need to pull your chat up here in a second. Let me go through this. I don't have too many, so there it is. So
Alex is like, odd question: 1070 Ti Cerebus worth $220 a card, or spend some for the 5700/XT once the cards drop AMD, putting one limit per 30s.
Okay, first of all, price isn't going to drop on the 5700s.
No.
So they're not.
Unless you're getting them secondhand market. You might see them a little, fluctuate a little bit like that, but yeah.
If you can get the hype, kind of like what I told everybody when the 2080 Ti started going on sale for $400, $500, I was like, go buy them. If you see one for that price, go buy it, because you're not going to be able to buy a 3080, and it's going to go up in value. You can just flip it right after people figure out that they can't buy the 3080. I have that on my Facebook and on Twitter, and the same thing's going to happen with the 6000 series. So I mean, it's possible they have more manufacturing figured out. They might have a few more cards. They did wait longer than NVIDIA, but I still think you're going to have a short supply.
NVIDIA just canceled out 2 of their product lines just as of today, I believe.
Right, and you were talking about that.
Yeah, the 3080 20 gigabyte is no longer, so don't think that you're going to be able to find anything more in a 10 gigabyte when it becomes available again. And then the 3070, which was supposed to just have 8 gigabytes, they also optioned a 16 gigabyte. That 16 gigabyte did get canceled also.
Makes sense. I
And,
assume memory is going to be in high demand right now too, though. Right?
yeah, the GDDR6 memory modules are going to be in high demand. On top of that, the human malware virus coming out shut down TSMC, Samsung, and the other silicon manufacturing. And then the third party manufacturers that's manufacture all the subcomponents for the silicon, they have been shut down. That was coming out of Taiwan. Taiwan shut down for a while. So you have Apple, AMD, Nvidia, Intel. They are all trying to push their products through, and there's just not enough for everybody. That's why we're going to see such a supply shock. And then for the first time, we're seeing scalpers. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
My bad. I was unmuted over on the other one. Sorry, I muted it because I hit the vape. So what I was essentially saying is that what's going to happen is you're going to have scalpers and miners to compete with on the Radeon series. It's just going to happen. It's probably going to happen on the Nvidia series, no matter how many times they try to release the 3080, unless they try to gimp it with drivers, which Nvidia might do. Nvidia is that type of company. I don't.
Well, they are trying to do that because they're like, we're having issues when it fluctuates to over 2 gigahertz on the core.
Well, and their power delivery is too new and was clearly an issue. Clearly an issue. I wouldn't actually want one of those cards as a gaming card right now because I feel like I would just be troubleshooting it 50 to 75% of the time and be frustrated as hell. At least
see,
everything
I have a 3090. I've got the EVGA XC3.
Yeah.
I haven't had any issues with mine whatsoever. I've done some gaming with it. I've seen 2.2 gigahertz on the core, pushing 410 watts to do it.
That's pretty crazy. 410
I
watts is
know,
insane.
but
Dude, I
on
mean,
the
like,
flip
do
side,
you?
I'm mining Ethereum. If I just let it drink the power,
Uh
about 300 watts. And as long as I've got a fan on the backside, because it's got the double stack memory modules on there, if I keep the back plate cool, I get 120 mega hash at 300 watts.
Right. And that's going to be tempting for a lot of people that are mining, right? Especially as these cards start going out of stock, like we were talking
Well,
about before. And
at
it just keeps
120 mega hash on Ethereum, though, that's two 5700s basically.
that is 25700s, but that's a 3090. So 25700s for $800. Because I don't think that,
No,
I think.
no, that's $1,700 for the 3090.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So, like, when it's going to become tempting is when the 5700s go out of stock,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
So this
Or
is
for anybody who's wanting density. So if they only want one rig and they want more hash power, you're just offloading your other stuff and you're like, I need these.
right. Yeah. No, I guess that makes sense. Or if you're gaming on it, mining on it, that's another option.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Let your
curious. So,
gaming
have you had?
gaming rig pay for itself.
Well, sort of, kind of. That's a pretty large ROI. It's going to take
Oh
a
yeah.
while to make back, even at 120 mega hash. That's going to take a while to make that money back. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's about
But if you think
400
about it,
days, even with like the current fees because of
but if
DeFi.
you think about it, I mean, if you bought two 5700s, you'd be in the same boat.
No, because the ROI on a 5700 is only like fucking 200 days. Two with.
What's the price tag on a 5700?
Well, I was paying 330 for them until today.
Till today.
I bought the last 17 at 330 that were left on the internet. They are about somewhere between 390 to 420.
Okay, so we'll call it $400. So yeah,
You're about 200.
it's got it's about double what the
Yeah.
5700 is. Then yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, like if you're looking at a card, you're gonna buy that one. I just think so at this point, unless you can get like obviously the 580s are still profitable, the 480s are still profitable. I'm actually testing one right now, working on a video, but I think that what we're going to see is basically a repeat of 2017. Everything feels like it, at least in the short term. So I think you're going to see all the AMD cards go away first. And then you're going to start seeing people figuring out what the best option is. And if there's a shit coin they can mine that does a little bit better on NVIDIA, that maybe favors core clock, whatever that is, you'll start seeing those cards go first, like the 1080 Ti's did and so on and so forth. And then it'll go away for a little bit. We won't be able to buy any cards, and then either the market will crash, Ethereum will either move to proof of stake, and profitability won't be as good, and it'll settle back down.
It's like whenever Raven switched their algo, and all of a sudden you just see a spike of everybody buying Nvidia. You couldn't get your hands on one of those for like a month.
Right. Well, and I've been having really good luck with the 5700s on Raven. There's some tweaks you can do in Team Red. I think it's Team Red Miner. I have all the notes. I should go try to pick it up. But I'm getting 27 mega hash a second on the RX 5700 for Raven, which is actually pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So that is an option for when you get kicked off ETH, is Raven now. And then you just got to hope that they do something good, because
they've got good developers at least. They're active,
right? But
so,
they need to do something
like
that changes the game, or that
offers
an alternative, right? Where they started out from is perfect, right? ASIC resistant, always going to be GPU mineable. Blah blah blah. Never go proof of stake. We're gonna basically be.
And I like how that you can basically make a Raven token that will represent a real world item,
Right.
Something that Bitsby Trippin did. Carter Thomas, for anybody that doesn't know who he is. He took his little toy from another boring company, the Flamethrower, and he tokenized it on Ravencoin and then sold it.
And that's awesome. And those are I think that there is potential there, but like I said, I think it needs to be a little bit more of a game changer. And they've had some recent issues that are kind of holding that coin back.
Yes.
And until they get those resolved, I think it's going to be. It's not going to be an ETH. It's not going to be a Zcash or Zcoin. No. It's not going to be anything like that until they can get those resolved, which is kind of disappointing, because it's the only one we, as miners, we can be guaranteed that we're going to be able to mine for any extended period of time, right? So from a mining perspective, that's the coin we want to succeed, at least in my humble opinion. Like, that's the one I want to go and take off for the most part, right?
Right.
I haven't looked into Haven coin yet. I did see the profitability's up on it, but I'm skeptical.
A lot of these coins, like, I'm really skeptical, because it's like one of my biggest things. If I'm gonna mine it, I want to know that the dev team believes in their product enough that they actually make a core Qt wallet that I can take the wallet.dat file out, put it onto a USB, and secure it myself.
Yeah. My favorite shitcoin's probably Pearl right now, I think. Yeah. And that's,
you had a pool set up for that, didn't you?
I did. We had a lot of Pearl. I just watched their live stream the other night. They're having inflation issues right now, and it makes sense.
Oh God, no.
So they're gonna have to fix that.
That's a huge issue. Oh my God.
The reason I'm okay with it is because they're not hiding it. They literally came out, they're addressing it, and they have a full on wiki on what their plan is to resolve it. So they're ahead of a lot of coins as far as that goes. They're pretty open and transparent. So
I think Raven had the same problem where somebody put an exploit in there It was one of the devs that put an ex-dev put an exploit into it, and somebody came across it and did their thing. And then Raven just forked a little early.
It happens. All right, so back to chat. I'm gonna see where can I find find info like not holding keys in PayPal. Twitter. Let me see if I can pull that up for you.
It's on
I
the
here's the thing. I can't verify it because I haven't bought any through there yet. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I should be careful when we talk about that. I have seen screenshots of it. It doesn't appear that there's any keys in there at this time. I'm trying to find the screenshot. I should be careful scrolling through here though live. Yeah, I don't want to be a little bit more careful in that.
Yeah, don't want to dox yourself.
What I'll do is I'll try to find the tweets with those screenshots, and I will put that in the description below tomorrow morning, if you're okay with that answer. And if I'm wrong, I'll make a correction to the video. So there you go. So any predictions for Big Navi? So the big question on Big Navi, in my opinion, my humble opinion, is going to be what the fuck is Infinity Cache doing? So if we're talking about Ethereum, right, and we're talking about mining Ethereum, then we're talking about memory performance. And if we're talking about memory performance, the memory difference between regular Navi and current Navi is not anything different. The modules are the same, right? We're getting GDDR6. What is different is bus width, which is smaller.
Yep.
And we're talking about Infinity Cache. So from a mining perspective, we need to know what Infinity Cache is actually doing and if it's helping improve the communication between the memory modules and the core. And
let's say it does all of that, you're still looking at a good solid month before the developers for the mining software figure out how to basically take advantage of that. If there is any kind of performance,
it depends on how the drivers implement it on Radeon's side.
Right. Yeah, that too.
Because I don't know that it matters as much that the developers of the miners figure it out as much as how it's actually functioning. At the end of the day, we don't know how it works. Like I don't have a full understanding of how it works exactly.
Right. Well, my 1660 Ti took a month before the mining software overclocked the card properly.
Okay.
And then Crypto Mikkel's MSI Gaming X 1660 Ti wouldn't even mine for a month.
Well, and that's so. We will have that issue as well,
right?
Possibly. I'm not sure that that's tied to Infinity Fabric or Infinity Cache.
I mean,
I don't know.
It's
how
just
that works yet.
Yeah, it's just a matter of how it's being implemented. I mean, if it's something that it's all done on card side, on GPU side, then software doesn't care.
Here's why I think it may help memory performance, and so. Stick with me on this. The current GPU market is trying to advertise 4K 120 hertz and 8K. If we're at the top end and we're talking about trying to trade blows at 8K resolution, then we're talking about streaming in assets from video memory to the core that's going to require good memory performance and communication between the memory and the core, which means that because we know they cut the bandwidth down, right, or the bus width down, then we know that Infinity Cache, presumably, or something else that they've implemented, is increasing that speed. Something is, right?
Right.
Because they're going to have to trade blows with NVIDIA at the top end and say, we have an 8K 30 FPS, no fun to game on GPU. So you're gonna have one of those options, right? So
right. I mean, is it going to be true native 8K, or are they, trying to do 8K or upscaled 8K?
Well,
and that makes a difference too.
3090's doing 8K, right?
Doing 8K, yeah. But the 3080 can do 8K, but it does upscaled 8K better.
Right. Well, upscaled for Nvidia right now, from my impressions, has been better. Period. Right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like Gamers Nexus was saying, he's like
So
8K doesn't technically really exist
right.
in its full form.
So as you point out there, then that would reduce the size of the assets being loaded into video memory, which would then
Hmm.
lower the requirement of the bus width, which would then mean that mining performance is going to be worse on this generation of Radeon GPUs than it was on the previous
Yep.
generation.
And that's been a small little suspicion of mine since some of the leaks started coming out on
Yeah.
this.
So when I saw, because today I was going through Twitter, and I think it was Savage Mine had posted like ETH hash rate predictions. I was like, huh? I was asking where he
Hmm.
got those from. He said he was just kind of presuming. Um,
Guessing, yeah,
and I think that's where we're all at this point. So
yeah,
you have one of two options. Either if Infinity Cache actually does improve that performance and we're going to see better hash rates and it's going to be super surprising, or they are going the route of upscaling. They are reducing the need of full resolution assets, and the mining performance is going to be less. And
yeah,
it's either way, right? So
yeah. Because like if you look at the numbers on the AMD side, it's more in line with a 2080 Ti.
on the 6900,
Yeah,
well, the core clock's way higher.
yeah. The core
Way
clock,
higher.
it's like they went like in between, but
Well,
because that bus width is so nerfed, I don't
but
think they're gonna.
here's the thing, dude. It literally looks like they traded places with Nvidia. Do you remember, like,
Almost.
and so that core clock might be doing a lot more than we think it's doing.
Yeah, one can hope.
Yeah,
Fingers crossed.
but we're talking about 300 megahertz over what's in the next gen consoles.
Yeah,
And if we're talking about next gen consoles, we already know the next gen consoles are looking really dang good for the price to performance, which tells me
and they mine pretty good too.
that, well, I don't know about that. Has that
I
been
already know
something
people
people have
who
figured
I've
out?
already heard. I've already figured out or found somebody that figured out how to do it, and I was like, "Get out of here!" And he's like, "No, no, they're good."
They're good. Nice. So, and I think those GPUs are around the 6700 is where I
Yeah,
think those are sitting at. So if we know, I, I'm just saying there's a pretty high possibility that they're good for gaming.
yeah, yeah.
And then if your leak is correct, right, your unnamed source there, then maybe the mining is good.
I'm hoping that there's the possibility that they're good. I mean, what's in the next gen gaming consoles seem to mine pretty good. Um,
They're a little
but
different, right? So the PS5 is a
yeah,
mix between RDNA 2 and RDNA 1.
right.
But the Xbox is all RDNA 2. So
Right.
then you also have to go ask that guy, is that a PlayStation or is that an Xbox? You know.
He was on Xbox.
Okay. So then there we go. We're good to go. But that's all speculation, chat. We don't know anything about that yet.
Hmm.
Nothing confirmed.
But you also have Xbox and PlayStation. They're going to have their own requirements of we need this memory, we need to do this. So I mean, what they got is not going to be reflective of what's coming out.
Yeah. All right. So do you have any questions? I'm going to look through for the next question.
Crypto Pope thinks you're Carter Thomas. No, this is Son of a Tech Blind, right? Go check him out.
Yep.
Give him a sub, guys.
I used to be a mining creator, a pretty large one, and now I'm just a
Right,
guy.
right. I missed the hash wars, you know.
Mining rig wars. I still need to do
Yeah,
that.
that's what it is. Yeah, mining rig wars.
I want to reset. I want to reset that up. I just haven't yet gotten to it. I'm actually so I have about 22 submissions that were never done. So we're gonna do like a classic, right? And then
Oh,
we're gonna move into a new. So that's my plan right now is to go classic mining rig wars, which is gonna be like 480s, 580s, 1080 Ti's, all that kind of stuff, and then old algorithms and stuff too. So I think it'll be pretty fun.
And I've stolen one of your catchphrases. I use it every once in a blue moon. May your hash be high and your watts be low.
Yeah, there you go.
It kind of stuck in the back of my mind for a while. I'm like, man, that's like the best phrase ever.
Yep, that's a good. We came up with some fun stuff.
Yeah.
Best recommendation for a good gaming GPU that will mine in the off time: RX 5700.
Yep, 57 or the 5800. Both are a great choice.
You mean 5700 XT?
No, the I mean not the 57, the 580. Even the 580s
Oh,
is
the
a
RX 580. I wouldn't game on a 580.
I've done a little bit. I mean,
they're terrible now. They're not fun gaming wise.
I mean, to me, all the AMD GPUs, I just can't stand behind them. I love when it comes to gaming.
I have the power play on mine, and mine's beating my RTX 2080, so I actually just swapped over to it now.
I'm running a 1080 Ti, and I mean, I haven't found too much that really just like outperforms it, except going into the new 30 series and maybe the new 6000.
I can help you with the 5700 XT if you want. I can send over my power play and stuff for gaming, but I'm getting 220 frames a second in COD Warzone. So
nice. I'm up there too.
It took a while, but I play at 1080p. I play on a 240 hertz panel. So
yeah, it's like I don't see any reason to go to 1440 or 2K or 4K. I
upgraded my monitor, and it was funny because people were like, "Why'd you do that?" But I got the Alienware 240 hertz fast IPS. It's the best panel I've ever owned. My KD went up as soon as I started playing on it too. Like it just went straight up. So definitely highly recommend this panel. The blacks are freaking solid. The response time is better than any of the. I was using the Asus PG24QE or 248.
Yeah, I've got an Asus. I forget what the numbers are on this one. Yeah.
And that was a TN panel, and the response time on this is way better. So. Pretty good as far as that goes. Why are we 1660 150 USD? If you look, I'm sure I don't know where that would be. And all right, dude, I don't know what you're talking about, to be honest. Ryzen 5000 is supposed to love 4,000 megahertz. What CL are you thinking would be best for Monero? 4,000 megahertz on what?
Right, which Ryzen? Because like I get 4 gigahertz on my first gen Threadripper, and I get like 6. I get like 6,000 kilohash a second on Monero.
But first of all, 4,000 series Ryzen's hitting 4,000 megahertz, no problem. Or
right.
4 gigahertz. It's hitting, I think, on the 3900 XT. I could overclock all cores to 4.4 gigahertz, and we would hash Monero random X. There's a video on my channel. We would hash that at 11,000. So, I would assume Ryzen 5000 series is going to be significantly better than that.
Yeah.
Because the performance uplift on that is insane, right? Like, I think this is the biggest jump in CPU performance from AMD we've seen since Zen 1.
Yeah, because like even the last generation Threadripper, you're just under 5 gigahertz. I think it's like 4.9, something like that.
Yeah.
On cores.
We got to be careful with that now because they're advertised are really jacked up. The 3900 XT advertised boost clock is 4.7 gigahertz. But what that really means is it's 4.7 gigahertz on a single core.
Right.
So when we're looking at what these advertised boost clocks are on Ryzen 5000 series, I would take that and remove 300 megahertz from it for all core overclock. So
Yeah,
right now, if it's hitting
unless you're water blocking it, and then
not even
you
then
can.
though. I mean, I had the 3900 XT underwater, and the best we could get was 4.4.
Damn.
And we hit leaderboards on hardware bot with it. So my assumption is that's kind of the limit, right?
Probably, yeah.
There's some guys with LN2 that are getting better, but you can't game with LN2,
No.
so it's useless. So my presumption would be that the 5000 series will sit around 4.6 gigahertz all core overclock.
Yeah, but you should still. I mean, if you're mining Monero, if the Threadripper, the 3950 WX is getting, what is it, 12,000 kilohash on Monero, I'm thinking that the new 5000 you're going to be above that.
Yeah, no problem. New
No
5000
problem.
series is clearly. So he was talking about a big boost on 4000 megahertz memory. So we're talking about DOCP profiles there. And if you're talking
Right.
about DOCP profiles and 4000 megahertz, I don't think that would be a 1-to-1 clock. That's not a 1-to-1 clock. Goes 3200.
No, yeah.
So was it 21? So you would get decreased performance. You would need to find what the 1-to-1 would be for that. I don't think it's 4000. I'd have to go do memory calculations. So if it's above, right, if it gets a boost above 4000 megahertz memory, that makes sense, but you're going to want to make sure that you're 1-to-1.
Right.
So I think that, like a lot of people said, like I still run 3600 megahertz Triton Z Neo, and it's overclocked.
It's that. Like it'll mine for a second and then crash. Yeah, the calculation's just a little off.
You're wondering about CAS latency. So you're talking about CAS latency on your memory modules. Look, here's the deal. You want the best performance for Ryzen and Zen and Infinity Fabric. You want Samsung B-Die, and you want 18 CAS latency or less. I would recommend getting 18 CAS latency Triton Z Neo and then using DRAM calculator to tighten that up to 16. It's guaranteed on those modules.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, I'll show you. There are these right here. So you just want these exact modules. These are the Triton Z Neo, and they are 18 CAS latency. They have never failed to hit 16, and you will immediately get a sentiment boost, period.
Yep. Very true.
You can get tighter if you buy the 16s, but it's not worth the money. The performance.
No. I mean, unless you're an extreme overclocker. Yeah, I wouldn't bother.
Because I know they've gotten them down to like 14, right?
14, yeah.
Which is insane. But yeah, I wouldn't really worry about it. Welcome, John. Welcome to the stream. We're just going through chat. We talked through all the topics. If you have some more questions, just let us know.
Yeah, I gave my buddy my 14s. I donated to him because he needed a PC, and that was like my overclocking RAM. And I'm like, I never use this.
I use mine all the time.
Never use the 14 CAS latency because I have 18 CAS latency, and then I downclock it down to 16. It's like it's perfect. I tighten it all up, and it's perfect.
Yep, and it's cheaper.
Yeah. Way cheaper.
Once G-Skill trying
to get 64 gigabytes of it.
I was so happy when G-Skill started actually like kind of taking over the performance ground on memory.
Yes.
Because they still haven't really screwed me on price, I don't feel like. As opposed to like a lot of other memory manufacturers where I'm like, why is this? Yeah. And why is it always Corsair runs at 3,000 megahertz? Why does it never run at even 3,200? Like, I'm like, why? Right. Why do you even make that trash? Nobody wants it, and you're charging more. I don't get it, dude. And it's like some, it's never Samsung.
Because we're Corsair. We're an exclusive club.
It's such a. I hate their memory. Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
So the question was, but I thought that 8 GB would still be good for mining ETH. Yes, you're fine.
Yes. You'll be
So
fine for a long time.
Ethereum Classic hits 4 gig DAG on October 31st, and Ethereum hits 4 gig DAG on December 23rd.
Yep.
Which right now, if you guys are kind of like feeling frisky and you really want to get a little bit of ETH in, it's not a bad idea to go pick up those mined GPUs for like $50 a pop. So your return on investment between now and December 23rd would mean that you would need to spend between $45 and $50 a pop on a 4 gig GPU for a 470, and you would need to spend somewhere between $50 and $60 on an RX 480 to get ROI by the time the DAG hits. And then you can just drop those cards off onto some shit coin and just bank on it, like, you know, just make whatever profit off of it after. So,
or sell it to newbies.
Yeah. So there's an option for you guys, because I've seen quite a few fire sales on those, and they're not terrible. And the ROI, if you get them for that price, is ridiculously quick. 2-3 months, right? So definitely take a look at that. I'd recommend doing that if you're just kind of wanting to get into mining and learn a bit about it. Because the quick ROI is there. I think it's a good budget-friendly, I'm learning mining build, like a 6-card RX 470 4 GB build for like $50 a pop on the card. And when they say, I want 75, tell them, no, it only works right now until December 23rd, and I need to get my money back on it. Just tell them that. It's worked for me like 9 times out of 10. I'm just like, no,
right.
I'll give you $45 because that's how much I will make before they don't mine anymore. And don't even mention that you're just going to throw them on shitcoins after. Just tell them it won't mine anymore. So I have to make the money back. Be like, right. I'm being good. I'm going to make the money back for you and get you out of your bad purchase. Just, you know, play, right. play the good guy and you'll make it. It's fine. But don't pay. I know a lot of people are trying to get 75 for them. Don't pay 75 for them.
No.
Just don't do it. Alrighty. So how much free space on my main drive? Oh, you want me to look for you? Probably 318 gigabytes. There you go. I use cloud, dude. I'm a cloud solution specialist. What do you think I do? Nothing's on my computer. Video games. That's it.
Yep.
Everything's in the cloud. And you will never find out what cloud or where. It's my own personal cloud, you bitch. All right, so...
And everything else, like wallets and stuff like that, USBs.
Hardware wallets or USBs, yeah. Or just paper. I don't do paper anymore, though, as much.
I know. I've got a couple of paper, but everything else, I just encrypt my own USB devices because at the end of the day, that's a hardware wallet.
I'm so lazy. I use BitLocker. That's how lazy I am. I'm just like go into Windows Explorer, BitLocker it, and then call it a day. Store the key somewhere, and then
and I have the Nano Ledger and stuff like that. Yeah.
I have CL14 at 3600 megahertz for a 3900X, but it's a little spendy. Looking for something a little more budget friendly. Yeah, so the memory module just showed you. You'll be good to go. And you updated to the latest version of NiceHash. NiceHash isn't allowed on this channel, and you will be banned for talking about NiceHash.
Yeah, we refer it as Nice Hack.
Look, here's the deal. It's always been bad. It always will be bad, and they will never be transparent. And
the other thing that most people don't talk about is that Nice Hack's main core developer is the same person that made the butterfly virus, the Mariano bots.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He is a convicted hacker. Convicted. He has been arrested. He got out of jail, and Nice Hack hired them.
I do remember that story. Yeah, Jesus. Look,
I don't. touch nice hack with a 10-foot pole.
If all the Bitcoin on your site disappears when Bitcoin hits $20,000 and then it takes you years to pay it back and
you
it's still not all
pay
pay it back, then
yeah,
it's
they took
sus.
it to 80. They paid back 80%, and now since COVID, they've suspended paybacks.
Yeah, COVID's been an excuse for things that it should never be an excuse for, and that's one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
because
like
people are still using their platform the same way, so it's not like they're not making money.
look, man, if you were working out and then COVID happened and you were like, I'm gonna stop working out because COVID, that's essentially the equivalent, like just in general. So I don't get that. That's not an excuse.
Nope.
They had the money. They clearly I'm at this point convinced they pulled it out and sold it for USD and then added it back in after the drop.
It's almost like what Mount Gox is trying to do. They got the Bitcoin to give everybody what was taken from them, but they're trying to tie it up into litigations.
Well, and then if you buy back in, then like your payback is easier and you already made the profit, right? Like if you sold a Bitcoin for 20,000 and then you gave it back to them when it was at 4,000, clearly you made $16,000. Clearly,
yeah, exactly.
That's what you did. So no, nice hash will never be talked about on this channel except in a negative light. Period. And I'll be completely honest about it. And if you feel differently, then that's fine, and we can part ways. We're good. It doesn't bother me. But I
would rather see you use Kudo Miner. And I'm not really big on using somebody else's stuff. You can load it in you can load the same mining software on Windows and Linux.
I have to catch up on what is it? Whatever happened with Oh God a Girl and Oh God a Company. Do you know what happened with all that?
Yeah. Actually, I'm friends with Christy Lee.
Okay.
So basically, there was stuff that was being said on the backside from certain individuals about Christy Lee. A lot of it was just a bunch of he said, she said bullshit. They started parting ties with Minority, and then they started fighting over intellectual property. Of who wrote what code.
Right, because she had a different dev working on it, right?
Right, and she had her own dev team working on certain projects.
So did they shut it down? Like you can't really get the pill anywhere anymore.
You really can't, but I have it if you want it.
We might need to get a repository up for some people. So yeah, I found one site that put it on there, but it was a virus. So
yeah, I have a legit copy that I pulled from the repository before the repository got shut down.
If you want to send it over, I'll throw it on my website.
For sure. Yeah, so I can send it to you. No problem.
Help some people
hell yeah!
Because as soon as I hit the website and like download it, and then like I hate mining stuff. The problem is like every antivirus will say that it's a virus, so you have to like dig into it. And I dug into it, and it was basically a crypto jacker. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, awesome.
Nice.
So I just removed it from the system and moved on. But I was kind of wondering where that went and how that was being handled. I'm probably not going to use it. I don't have any 1080 Ti's I mine on, just the one in my main rig, and I don't mine on my main rigs. Not anymore. I don't like to. Makes the office too hot too.
Yeah.
Then you're like, was that really worth the like 35 mega hash I got for 12 hours or whatever it was? And now it's 105 degrees in here. And
if you've got a TI, I get like 52 mega hash.
Yeah, you can get 50. Yeah, you can get 50 mega hash with the pill. Sort of, right? It's not. When I tested, if I recall, it wasn't. What do you call it? So it was reported 52. It was more around in the 40s. I think it was like 48 mega hash confirmed, like on the pool. But it's been a while. I can't remember. I have a video. I'll have to go.
It depends. since we're getting closer to the 4 GB DAG file side, the 10 series have been dropping hash rate actually.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they're having it's almost like the AMD issue. Whenever the AMD started getting to like 50% memory utilization, they just like started having heart attacks, and they were horrible for a little while for mining. And that's what the 10 series is going through right now.
Okay. Interesting.
And I think because of the fact that they're the 20 series and the 30 series are now out, I don't think anybody's going to go back and rectify that problem.
You don't think any of the I would think the mining software would. I think some people would, but I don't know.
I've gone through every mining software out there, and none of them even address the issue. Yeah, none of them are addressing the issue. Kudo Miner, the dev left, so nobody develops on Claymore. I mean, nobody's developing on Claymore, so that's dead. Phoenix is like one of the best ones out there right now.
Right. I've been using Team Red Miner.
Yeah, about to say you got Team Red Miner. Phoenix is actually a little bit better. It reacts more like Claymore did. And Claymore would apply the straps a little bit better.
The latest update to Hive OS, Phoenix is rebooting on me like about every 45 minutes.
Oh no!
Yeah.
See,
so I'm on Team Red Miner right now.
Yeah. See, I don't. See, that's weird. I wonder if it's just because of the drivers then that.
Well, yeah. Clearly, there's something going on with the Linux drivers there.
Yeah, I think that's the problem, because that's the problem that I have with the 30 series on Hive is that the driver that they're using is like, yeah, you need to do better.
Claymore was pretty reliable. I think I have a rig.
Not on Hive.
On Hive it is, but not right now.
The library, the Linux library for Claymore is not fully built.
I have a rig that's been on it 24/7 for a little while because I was testing them all.
Right. I mean, it works. It works. Don't get me wrong, but like the full it's a complete product on Windows, not Linux.
Right.
Because the dev that I've got a friend of mine that was actually tried working with the guy that was developing for Claymore, and he's like, I won't touch Linux. He wasn't a Linux guy.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
He didn't know how to pull in the overclocks in the Claymore.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Because
on Windows side, you can do everything with inside of Claymore. You do not need MSI Afterburner, the Radeon software, or anything like that.
Yeah, so for Claymore on Hive, I just do TT-0, and then I do all the overclocking through Hive, and then run it, and it's fine. Hash rates are a little lower. Team Red,
that's the big thing.
Team Red, so Phoenix Miner, my reported hash rate's always higher than my effective hash rate. And then Team Red Miner, my effective hash rate's the same as my reported hash rate. The fees are about the same.
About the same, yeah.
So I just go Team Red Miner right now. It's been pretty solid. So that'd be my recommendation, unless you're having some sort of issue, at least if you're using Hive or probably Linux. Yeah, probably Linux in general.
Yeah, pretty much Linux in general. Yeah, I mean, that's like I bounce between Team Red Miner and Phoenix for my RX 580s, and it just kind of depends on who pushes the latest update out.
Right. And Team Red Miner, I seem to be able to push the overclocks a little further, just a little, right, just a tad. So there's that. That's pretty much it as far as all the testing I've done on all I have right now, 5700 and 5600s. I have 4 5600s, and then the rest are all 5700s. So
nice.
I think I did order one more 5600, just because, well, basically the amount of cash I had, I could order one more 5600 or wait, and I was like, screw it, just order one more.
Right.
So it's like dumping a whole bunch of money into mining, like it's 2017.
Yeah, I see you buying like you're like 4 rigs later. I'm like, good God.
Yeah, we'll be at 7 rigs on Monday.
mining. It's an addiction. There
Yeah,
is no
we'll be
miners
at.
anonymous.
We should be at about 2 gigahash on Monday, somewhere around there. It should be pretty good. Have I? Okay, so that was the rant on NiceHash. I swear I always have a rant on NiceHash. It will never end, because like
No.
everybody wants to do NiceHash because they get paid in Bitcoin and the profitability seems good. And yeah, the profitability is good until they decide to take. Yeah, it's easy.
I think that's the big play is that's the easy button. I download a program, it auto tunes. I put a little overclock to fine tune it in, and go to bed.
Yep, and you're golden. No, yeah, I get that. I get that aspect, and I get that service, but I don't trust the company.
No, not at all.
And
I don't really trust. I don't trust any of the services. I mean, even like a Hive OS or Simple Miner OS. I'm like, just because. I mean, granted, they're not holding my coin, but they can sit there and mine to their wallet. They can change a lot of stuff. You go, yeah.
I know the dev pretty well for Hive, and I've known him since it launched. So I'm pretty comfortable with it. He's a good guy. So I've been using him forever because of that. So.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like I've got stuff on Simple Miner and Hive, and then I've got stuff on Linux and Windows because being a car junkie, it's like I have no real programming background, so I was like, let's crash course myself with no help.
Yeah, I hear you. I've always just I'm admittedly terrible in well, I guess I take that back. I used to be terrible in Windows. But now I do so much PowerShell. I'm not anymore.
Yeah, it's like I'm getting way better, and I have to say, like, you actually helped me out with mining on Simple Miner, try to get the to mine on the CPU.
Ah, okay. A long time ago, probably.
Oh yeah. It was like
ago.
It was like I'm sitting here trying to load up XMR rig on there because you did XMR stack.
Yeah.
So I did XM rig, and I'm like, what do you mean I can't do this? What do you mean there's no Git repository on there? What do you mean there's no CMake? What?
Trying to figure it all out. Yeah.
And I'm like, what in the world? And I'm like, wait a minute. I remember somebody was talking about this at one point in time. Go on to Google, and I came across your vid. I'm like, oh, I'm stupid. Let me fix that.
I need to do some more how-to videos. Those are my favorite to do, period, just because.
Oh, yeah. Hands down, yeah.
They're always fun. It's fun to help people. That was one thing coming back into the mining community when I was going around and, like, seeing, like, nobody's helping anybody with, like, overclocks. I mean, I shouldn't say nobody. Most of it though was like pay me money to do, and I was like,
oh yeah, it's behind a little paywall, you know. It's like, and that's something that I try to like get around, even with my community, with crypto and hot rods, the Family Mind Discord. Pretty much, if you're in the Family Mind Discord, just ask a question. We got a whole community. There's like 300 some odd people in there that'll be like, oh, you got what card? I'll put this, and this setting on there. You're good to go.
Right. Yep.
And it's so nice to have an open community like that because, like you're saying, like whenever I was first starting out, and it's some of the reasons why I started my YouTube channel up, it was like there was you, Voscoin, and a couple of other people, but nobody was like really giving all that information out. It was like trial by fire.
Yeah. Well, you got Bits. But his videos are really long, so if you want the information, you have to spend you have a large time investment.
Right.
Like a really large time investment.
I love the guy. One of these days, I'm not that far away from him. Yeah. One of these days, I got to talk him into letting me come over to the farm and chill
check
out at
it
his
out.
house and stuff. Like, oh hell
Yeah.
yeah, dude.
No, he's a great guy. It's just like because the videos are always so long form, it feels like you gotta like invest 4 hours to get all the information you need out of it.
That's his average video.
Yeah. Red Panda Mining's been doing a lot of good stuff though. I noticed as I came back. So
Yeah,
he's been
and
doing a lot of good stuff.
he started right around the same time I did.
Okay. Yeah, that was like right after I quit. So
Yeah.
I was like, I'm done. Man, there was a lot of reasons for that. It's just part of it was the profitability, part of it was work, part of it was like
Man, I
depressing.
felt really bad whenever you had your pool issue. And
Yeah, we lost. So yeah, that was Pearl, or was that?
yeah.
Yeah, we lost $14,000. I paid it all back out of my own pocket too. So
Oh
that was
man.
rough. I paid.
Which I gave you huge kudos
What
for
I
that,
was
man.
happy for is, yeah, I took out all of the crypto I had. I converted it to Pearl. I dumped it into the pool after we fixed the security hole, and I paid everybody out, and then I shut the thing down. That was it. So,
Yeah.
Because
And
I
then
was like,
shortly after that, you stopped making videos. You're
yeah,
like,
just started
games only.
Yeah, just want to play games for a while. Which I mean, like that's good and everything. I'm glad to be back into mining. It's just going to be interesting coming back and figuring out how to do it. But yeah, Pearl was a big blow. Rio still was good, but we ended up shutting all the pools down. Rio's still around. I like it.
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah.
I like crypto.
Yeah, I put the farm on there and then sat back in their Discord and watched everybody. Oh, because I had a lot of hash power on there.
Nice.
They're like, we're being attacked. My profit is a toilet, and I'm like, I can remove my rigs.
I can take them off if you would like. No, that dude, that dev's solid, man.
Oh yeah.
Andy does XM rig, so
okay.
Guy's
nice,
gonna be around forever. I believe too. I believe the fees are paid out by Mining Rio as well.
Oh, nice.
So that helps support his own coin. So he's got a whole thing going on there that's just brilliant, and he's been doing it forever now at this point.
Oh yeah, he's been doing it for a while.
Yeah,
that's why I was willing to support his network for a little bit while it was really profitable.
Fierce UK or Fire UK, yeah, Fierce UK.
Yeah. Fierce UK. Mm-hmm.
Yep. He does some good work, definitely.
Yes.
I think we're wrapping it up, though. I think we got all the questions. Get your questions in chat. Do you have any questions in your chat?
No, it doesn't look like I got anything on my side.
Cool. Well, Benjamin, thanks for stopping by. Foxy, thanks for stopping by. Derek, thanks for stopping by. Crafty, thanks for stopping by. Ozzy,
right. Ozzy Bogan Tech, yo.
Ozzy says, when I started watching you, I had 1 GPU, and now I have 15. You got to get them numbers up, bro. Pump them up.
Right.
Pump them up.
He's been, even Ozzy and Crafty too. They've watched us over at DCA.
Phoenix, what's up, dude? Welcome to the stream. What's the new AMD mining rig? So it's a mining only card. It leaked because Linux drivers. So far, all we know is it's not big Navi, so it's Navi 1.0. That means 5000 series, so 5700, 5600, so on and so forth. What we can tell so far is that the video outputs are disabled, and that it has the exact same specs as a 5700 XT.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it so far. That's what we know, and I assume they'll be being sold at a cheaper price. Links will be in the description later for that, so check back on the video, and if you need to rewatch the video later, of course, come on back and we go over all of that. So there you go.
John Germain's like, yeah, 3D Print Wednesday at DCA Adventure. Yes, my man. That's my home dog, Crypto Mikkel.
Cool. All right. Any more questions, boys?
Before we head up out of here?
It's midnight. I got to get up in the morning.
I know, right?
It was a late stream, but we wanted to get that all out of the way. I'm excited. I am excited for cryptocurrency mining right now. Very excited.
Oh yeah, big time, big time.
It's good times, and I'm glad to be back. Glad to have you all here, and thanks for joining me today, Nemesis. That was great. Make sure you guys go sub to his YouTube channel. Let me get that link up.
Crypto and Hot Rods and DCA Adventure, guys.
And it's coming into chat right now. You run a 3D printing business in your basement shop. Nice. You should convert that basement into a mining facility. Just joking. It sounds like 3D printing would be a good idea.
Right. Are you printing up that PPE, personal protection equipment? Or are you just making cool stuff?
Just getting ready for all them riots. And on that note, I'll see you guys next Tuesday.
For cheesy, yo.